What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of Gone with the Wind. I am your boy, Cortez Mack, and I'm joined by my co-host today. Say what's up to Dez and say what's up to Cam.
What's up?
How y'all feeling?
Excited. So ready. Debut episode. I'm wearing
I'm
my
excited.
Bel
The
Air
debut they didn't
gear.
even know they needed. Look, it's not even Royal Rumble time, and we got the biggest debut of the year already right here.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. So, as Paul Heyman would say, it's a spoiler. So, we are here today, guys, and we're going to be here more than today. You guys can trust us to be your exclusive source for women's wrestling. So, we're all big women's wrestling fans, and we are here to talk about all of the brands. So, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all the way over to other companies such as AEW, Impact. We got you covered. This is our first episode, and so we have... Y'all, I feel like this is the perfect time to start this because January is a time where we start to see a lot of storylines take place for WrestleMania, or start to take shape, I should say. We start to see other companies, competing and trying to start the new year off right. So I just want to jump into it. Let's talk about, before we get into these shows, let's talk about the news right now. Have y'all been keeping up with what's going on across the wrestling world? Yeah.
Much.
Where do we begin?
Let's start with my girl Carmella. I think Carmella is one of the unsung heroes of WWE, and I want y'all to hear me out. I feel like she was rushed to the main roster from NXT, but she made it happen. She was put in the shadow of Enzo and Cass in NXT. They left her, and she had to kind of make a name for herself. And right when I feel like she was starting to get her footing, they moved her up to the main roster. And we saw her develop over time, over the course of the main roster. She became a heel for the first time on SmackDown back during that feud with Nikki Bella. I feel like she's killed it over the years. And I think that her title reign was great, too, in terms of character work. I digress. I'm a big Mella fan. Mella is money. But I want to talk about the fact that she's been working injured as of late. Have y'all heard about that?
Didn't even know. No clue.
So Carmella apparently has been dealing with an undisclosed ailment, and production has been working around this injury in terms of her spots on TV. So I think it's perfect right now that she's in a tag team, one half of the women's tag team champions with Queen Zelina Vega. Yes. How do you guys feel about their team?
I mean, I personally love this team. I think that Mella and Zelina mesh really well together. I think they're better as a team than separately right now, with the division being the way it is. They found like their own footing in the tag team. And I personally love them as champions. I'm a big fan of both, so no complaints here.
I love Zelina on her own, and Carmella, she's cool. I can deal with her. But, I don't know, because I don't know. I just don't like the thrown together teams that they keep doing. They're going to keep doing it whether I like it or not. But it feels like they're real friends. Like, I can see that. They just don't dress alike. And that's kind of how I want my teams to look. I want there to be some cohesion going on between whoever they are. And I'm happy that they're champions because that means some gold for Zelina for the first time and gold for Carmella for being there forever. So I'm happy with it.
I feel like I agree with you. If the team ain't matching, you're not a team if your outfits don't coordinate. Like, y'all didn't even talk before you got here because y'all outfits don't even line up with each other. So how can I think that y'all gonna win a match?
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you. Feel you, definitely. But I think that with them being so into, or at least with Carmella being so into her look, I feel that would be a cool little segment to have on Raw one day where she just pulls Lena aside and was like, girl, if we're going to stay champions, we got to have a cohesive look. I feel like that would be a cool little moment, something to show like they're thinking about the fact that we're champions and we're also, we're human and we're considering these. We're not just characters on a TV show. So we'll see. Maybe they'll come out next week. Rhea and Nikki, I would love to see them with matching outfits too. I don't know what that would look like.
That's another one I can't get behind at all. Like at all. I'm not behind it. I'm so over the Nikki ASH.
Nikki ass. Nikki ass is what it is.
I mean, not a fan. I mean, she's a great wrestler. So I feel bad disrespecting Nikki Cross, the wrestler, and her abilities. I mean, she's solid. She's kind of like Natalya. That she's going to go in, she's going to perform safe. She's going to maybe have a spot or two, maybe. But she doesn't have any flashy moveset or anything that really, I think, comes forward as being like a star.
Fuck out of me.
What's up, Cam?
Like everything about her, I'm sorry. Like when they changed that gimmick from her being wild and crazy and NXT to what she's been on the main roster, everything she's done gimmick-wise has just bored me. I'm bored. I don't like the superhero gimmick. I don't feel like it complements her. I don't think it's getting over. And I feel like it's dragging Rhea down. And personally, I'd like to see them separate, Nikki go heel and switch back to her NXT gimmick or something wild, because I just can't take it anymore. I'm over it.
I like that you said Nikki go heel, because I feel like the storyline is building to Rhea getting frustrated and turning on Nikki. But I don't think that, and I feel like in their mind, that's going to be Rhea turning heel. But I feel like the crowd would cheer Rhea and boo Nikki in that scenario. We can even go back to Money in the Bank. Nikki was getting boos when she won the title and the night after. And as she was during her reign, like she was getting boos. I think the only time she really got great support was when she went against Charlotte. And even then the crowd was still kind of lukewarm. Maybe not split, but they just weren't as pro Nikki as I thought that they could have been. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like Rhea is being wasted so terribly. And it's so sad to see where she is now compared to where she was when she was helping NXT beat AEW in the ratings. It's so
Agreed.
Nikki still, Rhea still has to earn her stripes with me, because I'm not sure. Again, she's a great wrestler, and I use the term great, as a compliment, and not quite sure yet, because I'm just not exactly sure what all the buzz is about her. She can perform, but I still haven't seen anything where I'm like, oh wow, like she's a Sasha, she's a Bianca, she's a Charlotte. I haven't seen anything yet.
I think Rhea's definitely capable of it, but in the capacity that she's in now, which she's had so many 2 and 3 minute matches lately, I just know that she's probably looking like, girl, like what the hell is this? I am not used to this. I feel like, and I hate to say this, but I'm not the biggest Shayna Baszler fan. Rhea got me into Shayna Baszler matches during her NXT time. So I know that she's capable. She just has to have the right opponent. Her and Tony had some great matches. Tony's up next in the news, by the way. But we'll see. We'll just kind of put a prayer up for the good sis Rhea Ripley that she gets what she deserves. So let's move on and let's talk about Toni Storm. Do y'all miss her yet?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I'm actually very disappointed by the news that she's gone. But I have to say, the way they were doing my girl, come on, the pie in the face was like maybe comical for them, but they really dropped the ball on making Toni, the tough badass that we know her to be. They basically fed her to Charlotte. I'm sorry, I know Des, or Cortez, I know you're like a huge Charlotte fan, but get all dirty. And like, honestly, they had her chasing that 24/7 title on the live event. Did you hear about that? How crazy is that?
Toni was in the 24/7 hunt.
Yeah, she was chasing the title one night. It was on a live event, but you already know, like live events kind of give you an idea of like where they're going with some things. Mm-hmm. And I think that like she knew the writing was on the wall. They weren't going to push her the way she wanted to. And I think she did what she had to do. I miss her, but they did her wrong. And I don't think that they were going to do anything with her at this point. I think it's about to be Charlotte and Sasha.
I'm not mad at that.
The Charlotte and Sasha show? That's hard to say, the Charlotte and Sasha show. Huh.
Well, then maybe make it the Sasha Charlotte show then.
The Sasha show. Who else is on SmackDown that y'all could see believably stepping into the title? I feel like Toni was it. I could have saw her beating Charlotte.
Who I want is face Shotzi Blackheart back. And I want her last name back too. I don't get why she's just Shotzi.
Shotzi! I hate that.
I love her. I've seen her perform so well in NXT. She's the kind of superstar that I was talking about earlier that'll give you those flashy type of moveset, but also is still solid in the ring, And she gets such Lita vibes for me. I can't place my finger on it. Of course there's the look of them. They're both a little alternative, or they have their tattoos and the different colored hair and that whole thing. They're a little punk, but there's something about the way she moves in the ring that really reminds me of Lita, and that's my number one. That's the reason I started watching wrestling, is because of Lita. So anytime someone gives me that,
Same. Lita is who got me in. Miss Love, Fury, Passion, Energy. Miss,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What Lita moment got you into wrestling? Sidebar.
The first time I watched wrestling, I was at my grandma's house, and all my cousins, they watched wrestling. And so I started chiming into what they were watching when I saw this woman run out in the middle of a TLC match. It was WrestleMania 17. She got involved. She helped. I think she took out Rhino, and then got like hit by Spike Dudley or something like that.
I think it was the other way around. I think she took out Spike, and then she turned around and Rhino gored her. I remember that when she had on the little pink with the pink leopard pants. I remember that like it was yesterday. That was a lit WrestleMania for us to have not had a women's match. There were so many women's moments, like Trish, Linda McMahon. I remember that WrestleMania so vividly. Yeah. My Lita moment was, this is how gay I am. I was all into the romance storyline with her and Matt Hardy when they first got together. So one of the first times I remember like really, really being into the show was after, and I remember it was on SmackDown. It was Matt Hardy and Lita against Crash and Molly. And after they won, they started kissing. I will never forget it. Like it was just so sweet and pure. And then after that, the storyline with her and Dean Malenko, that was just such a great time. I wish that they wrote like that still, and that the men and women had chances to interact more. And it doesn't have to always be dating, but I feel like there's a missed opportunity there in terms of having them kind of share that same space, which they actually do share backstage. So moving on, let's talk about. We're moving to AEW, everybody's favorite brand. Let's talk about it. I'll start with, before we go into Big Swole and the latest with those happenings, I want to talk about Miss Brandy Rhodes. What are your thoughts on Brandy Rhodes, guys?
It's all you, Cam.
I love Brandy. I'm sorry. I know that everybody is her, some shit for her wrestling, but I love Brandy, especially when she gets ghetto. Like I have no problem with it. I don't think she's the most talented wrestler, but I think she plays her character very well. And my favorite promo with her and Jade like exchanging like words, like I'm just here for it.
Who the hell told you to bring your ass out here? It was so fudge. I'm like, Brandy, who is telling you to act like this though? Like this is not. And then this whole with Dan Lambert. Oh, you a black belt? Because I'm a black bitch. It just drew that. It's so crazy to me. I'm like, girl, you don't talk this, and I hope Cody didn't ask you to talk like this for the people. They gonna like go out there and say it, girl. No, like I hope he came up with this herself. So I brought her up because lately, Brandy has been, not even lately, like forever, perpetually, Brandy has gotten hate since she stepped into the spotlight as a wrestler and as a personality in AEW. And so she's been getting what fans have called go away heat. And we'll talk about who y'all feel like has go away heat in a second. But Brandy says that she doesn't feel like that's what she has. And to explain to the audience what go away heat is I'm not booing you because I don't like you. I'm booing you because I feel like you're a waste of TV time. I feel like I don't even want to see you at all. I want you to go backstage and go tell me what's in catering. That's what I want you. Okay. So Brandy has been, accused of having go away heat by fans. And her response, and I'm quoting here, she says, I'm the high point of the show consistently. If that's go away heat, then the whole roster is looking for that same smoke. What y'all think?
I'm not mad at that.
Look, I know I just praised her, but she's being delusional in that statement. Very delusional.
Why? Why you say that?
We all know Brandy isn't the best wrestler. I gave her credit for that promo, but her promos are also kind of like a hit or miss because it almost feels like she's a little extra with it sometimes. But I mean, what makes it a highlight of the show? I'm confused. Like the fact that she'll interfere in matches sometimes, or that she can go toe to toe with people on the mic. I mean, that's not a highlight for me. Not in the women's division that's lacking.
Yeah, and if I'm a performer, I don't know how I feel about her saying that, because I feel like you're throwing a lot of performers that work hard under the bus. And I'm like, you got people in AEW, first of all, every match is like 30 minutes long. And I'm like, and you saying you're the highlight of the show, and you got people out here doing Canadian destroyers off of the apron, through a table, through a flaming hoop into a lion's mouth, and the lion throwed him up, and that's still a 2 count. And that's still a 2 count. So I'm like, but you're the highlight of the show, sis. Go off.
It's the delusion for me. It's a delusion.
Isn't it a work though?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because if not, I'm gonna need Brandy to see my therapist, because that's just I just can't. I can't.
Well, moving on from Brandy Rose, before we go into talking about our thoughts about this week's show so far, I do want to touch on the latest with the AEW and Big Swole controversy. So we know that she spoke out about her feelings about the lack of diversity at the top when it comes to AEW and their booking of talent. I don't even want to say people of color. I think that Big Swole was really talking about Black talent, because we do see a lot of Latinx talent being utilized in AEW in a way that I think is meaningful. Penta, Phoenix, Sammy Guevara. But I think that, in terms of the Black talent that they have, there's not an equal distribution of opportunity. We saw Scorpio Sky have a title match, which was maybe 2 years ago. He was in the title picture. Other than that, we do have Jade Cargill challenging for or fighting for the TBS title tonight. But we've not seen Kiera Hogan on TV. We've not seen when she was there, we didn't see Big 12 much. Sky Blue. There's a lot of women there that I don't think that we're seeing on the level that we could be seeing. So what are you guys' thoughts on everything that happened with Big Swole and Tony Khan's horrible reaction to where he basically said, well, we fired you because you weren't a good enough wrestler?
I'm not an AEW watcher, so I only know what I'm reading on Diva Dirt, what I'm seeing on Twitter, and I'm hearing a lot of every side. So I don't really know how to contribute. What was her name when she was in WWE? Wasn't she in the Mae Young Classic?
She was in the Mae Young Classic. I think she wrestled under Ariel Monroe. Oh,
okay. All right. That's all I know.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I think so. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about, because I feel like this might be the part that you can touch on, in terms of Tony Khan coming out and saying these things about her after the fact. We don't see, and a lot of wrestlers came to his defense. Leo Rush was really the only person who we saw, and he's made amends with Tony now, but he came out and said that he was upset and he wanted him to apologize to her. A lot of people said that this is not how the CEO of a company should be responding to talent when they talk about their issues with the company. And this was basically her saying, like, she left because she wasn't really at peace there. And she talked about the issues that she faced in terms of there being a lack of diversity, there being a lack of structure and organization in terms of who was running the show. She said all of this respectfully as well. She said that she loves the company, and everything that she was saying was because she wanted them to grow and become better. But he combated that with basically saying, girl, shut up. We got Black people here, here, here. We got Hispanic people here, here, here. So you can be quiet because you can't wrestle anyway.
Ooh.
Imagine Vince McMahon doing that.
I mean, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine like Triple H or someone a little bit more respectable, because I know Vince McMahon, I don't really respect him at all. So I don't know. It wouldn't seem out of character for him to say something crazy like that. I know that he has a better PR team, I'm sure. I mean, because they've been around forever. So I'm sure that his media training wouldn't allow him to say something like that publicly. But it's not very professional, as he's the CEO, right, of AEW. I mean, I don't understand why he would be responding directly to talent that was just released, and especially in such a controversial way.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. I like how you said that. You can see Vince doing it, but you won't see him doing it because of his team.
Yeah,
Cam, what are
exactly.
your thoughts?
So disappointed, but not surprised because Tony Khan has been like this all year. It's like he cannot, for the life of him, take like any type of criticism whatsoever without retaliating and clapping back. You are a owner of this company. You need to focus on making this division and you know promoting people of color and of different nationalities a little bit more than you are. Like, I mean, I just feel like for me, it was distasteful, it was trashy, and I was really disappointed by the fact that more people didn't come to Swole's defense. Leah was the only one. I felt like everyone else was kissing ass. I was very disappointed. Powerhouse Hobbs, especially, I was like, you're not really the star that you think you are. So I need you to kind of like sit down and relax because you could be in the same boat too in a couple months, if not already. And I don't know, I was just disappointed. But like I said, Tony Khan's an ass, and I wasn't here for it.
What you said just now about Powerhouse House, and I think Jade Cargill also, they kind of spoke out and basically were saying, well, I've had a good experience here and I've gotten opportunities. If you're one of 10 Black talents on the roster that's getting that opportunity, that's still a problem. You're looked at as the one who made it and everybody else is what? Like, well, if I can do it, you can too. No, I'm not getting the same opportunities as you. And so Jade came in a program with Shaq. So, I mean,
Right.
Of course, you're going to get those opportunities. Powerhouse Hobbs, I think that he's definitely an emerging talent, but I would even put him in the category of his potentials being wasted and he's not being used in the way he could. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. All I can do is just hope for the best. In terms of AEW tonight, we do have, like I said, Jade and Ruby going at it for the title. Any predictions?
Yeah, same here. I am rooting for Ruby. I really want this to be her like second act, and I think she deserves it. I don't think that we got to see like literally even half of what she can do. I think throw her in a ladder match, throw her in a hardcore match, throw her in something that really ups the ante, and I think she'll really soar. So Jade Cargill, again, I haven't really seen her wrestle, but she looks like a star. So I'm kind of biased just by looking at her. I like her. And I think, though, that the better choice would be to go with the actual wrestler, the solid wrestler, which is Ruby.
I think Ruby could do a lot with it. And because when they call this title the TBS title, I see it being like a television title almost where it's defended a lot. I would love Ruby to do some open challenges like they did with the TNT title with the men. I think Ruby definitely could carry a lot of people to some good matches. I think she'll do the same thing with Jade tonight. If you haven't, which Des, I know that you haven't, Kim, you may have, go back and watch last week's match from Dynamite with Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa. This was Jade's longest match in her career up to this point. And there were some detractors that said, it was a little rough. I think she did very well for it to have been like her longest match today because she usually does squash matches. And so this was a really competitive one. We saw Mercedes Martinez debut after the match attacking Thunder Rosa. So we've got a really, really great title scene. And I'm interested to see if Mercedes factors into the match tonight too, because Ruby did come out to save Thunder Rosa from Mercedes last week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's talk about day one. And then we're going into Raw and NXT. So what are you guys' thoughts on what we saw on January 1st here in my hometown of Atlanta? I wasn't there because I'm scared of COVID, but it is what it is.
I have to say, that jacket that Becky wore deserves all the flowers. The little goats on the side were so cute. And then, of course, on the back, she got the whole look down. I'm really digging Becky Lynch coming in, since she returned at SummerSlam and really giving us looks like every single week. She's not known to be that person. And so I'm really enjoying. Yeah. It's almost like being a mother made her feel more in touch with her like feminine side. And I really appreciate it as a long-term women's wrestling fan.
Who do you feel like? Oh, Here's a question I have for y'all, because Becky's, of course, part of the 4 horsewomen. Rank the 4 horsewomen in terms of iconic looks. Who served the most iconic? I think Sasha, of course, is number 1, because Sasha is going to always serve you a look. Sasha will go to the gym and post it on Instagram, and it'll be a look. I think for me...
Can we just already put Bailey at number 4? Because
yeah, boy.
We all know that.
Agreed.
Get that out of the way.
The side ponytail was an iconic look.
No. Oh my God, no. Chop that off. And she did. So thank you.
That's her iconic look. The first time she came out without the side pony, that's an iconic look for her.
With the headpiece?
Right. For me, it'd be, Sasha. I'm struggling because Becky now is doing it, but Charlotte will low-key turn out some looks, but sometimes I'll be like, they look awkward on her, I feel like.
But Sasha gets a lot of praise for her looks, which I'm like, she's my number 1. So let's just let that be a fact that she's my number 1. I can still critique her. But I don't know, like sometimes she just doesn't have the shoes to go with it. And I'm like, girl, you got like a really good outfit on. And then you have some like, you know, Forever 21 little shoes, like flat boots on. And she's like, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's always executed that well, but she always looks good. It's just the execution is not always how I like it. I'm sure. I mean, I see everywhere. Didn't she win like the style icon of the Diva Dirt Awards? So I'm sure, you know, I'm definitely the minority here when it comes to that. So I don't know. I'm really digging Becky. So right now, I think my number 1 is Becky.
Hey, I feel like with Charlotte, it's the same thing as Sasha. Like it'll be the outfit is fire, but the shoes will just like throw it all the way off. Like there was one time she had on, I cannot remember what Charlotte had on for an outfit, but it was like a matching set because you know Charlotte loves her matching sets. But then she had on like these boots that had like flames coming up the side. I was like, sis, like who dressed you today? Did Andrade put this out for you? It was not. It was not it. But I feel like she does for her to be so tall. I know that sometimes it's probably hard for her to get stuff that looks flattering, especially for TV, because stuff that may look great in real life may not film well. I think that Charlotte tries. So I would say for me, Sasha. Dang, Becky's got to be my number 2 because Becky has been turning out these looks since she's come back. Every week I'm looking forward to seeing what she's gonna have on.
And her ring gear too. She switches it up like every week almost too, which is really nice.
Yeah. I say, okay, so yeah, I say, yeah, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. And then
Pam.
Pam.
Had to.
I love it. I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys though. Like maybe it's me, but I will never forget Becky for that fur coat she wore.
The yellow one?
I think it might have been red or the red and green one or something where she had red.
She had a red one too, yeah.
Oh yeah. And an orange one.
Never forget her. Yeah, I can't.
I loved it. I loved how like annoying and loud it was because it totally was the character. She was trying to get heat still, you know. It's like everyone's still cheering for her. She just came back. Let me wear something kind of obnoxious to see if like people would be like, oh, that's not Becky. That's not the man, you know, I don't know who that is, but
it was given thrift shop. It was given thrift shop.
Well, at least it wasn't real fur.
That's true. We don't need PETA coming out of the crowd throwing flour on her or tackling her.
It'll be a real heel then.
Yeah.
Like you having trouble getting booed? Wear that fur. You'll get booed a little bit.
Her goat jacket was it. It made the match.
Speaking of looks, I think that at day 1, I feel like Becky and Liv look like a tag team with their gear. With the matching black, like latex looking gear. They both looked like they were going to a photo shoot together. What y'all think of the match?
That power bomb, sunset flip power bomb, everything. Everything, Liv.
So good. She really showed her stamina, her endurance. It was by far Liv's best match ever. Like seriously, she really showed out. she already has the audience behind her, which I enjoy seeing. I'm not particularly a Liv fan, but I do enjoy seeing her, have an opportunity, and she's really rising to the occasion. This match put her on a pedestal that I never saw her on before. So I'm happy about that.
I think she's getting better and better on the mic. I think that she's been very great in the ring, but now people are able to see it. That sunset flip, her athleticism there was great. And I think that now people are going to have her on their radar. When do y'all see her winning the title, though?
I don't. I mean, I wouldn't advocate for that either. I think giving her an opportunity like this where she's able to have a storyline and get the camera time and show what she can do, I think that's great. And that's kind of, if I were doing the booking, that's all I would book her as. Because I just don't see her being believable to beat, a Sasha Banks or Bianca Belair or even a Rhea Ripley. I mean, maybe a Rhea Ripley, like from a roll-up or something. But I want my champions to be the top of the division, not just who gets the loudest cheers, or the loudest boos. So for me, I can live without Liv ever being the women's champion. Now, if they introduce like a featherweight title, women's intercontinental, something secondary, she would be the perfect candidate for that.
I really thought she was going to win the Queen's Crown tournament. I think that would have been something good for her to have.
Yeah. But then we'd have to call her Queen Liv. No, not me. I wouldn't be calling her that. No.
I have to disagree. I think I'd want Liv as champion. I kind of want it to happen at some point this year. I would love this is going to happen. I would love her to have a Royal Rumble win and head right into WrestleMania, but we know we're not getting that. But I just want to see her hold the title, even if it's for a couple weeks and she drops it. I think Liv deserves it. I think she's improved. Her promos need a little bit more work. I know we said they're getting a little bit better, but they're still not very believable for me. But I can get behind it. And honestly, she probably doesn't look like she can beat everybody, but we got Alexa pretty much dominate everybody. So we kind of have to give her some type of credit.
I think
Alexa's a smaller girl.
Yeah, I was about to say, if Alexa can do it, I think that Liv can definitely be champion. If she works on her mic work, I could see it before the end of the year.
None of us wanted Alexa as champion when she was champion. So I see those comparisons on Diva Dirt, and I'm like, well, just because she was doesn't mean she earned it or deserved to be.
But I feel like she proved herself once she became champ. By the time Alexa got into her second or third reign, I'm like, okay, she's established in the title picture, and I think that she's somebody that I miss now. And as we pivot to talking about Raw, let's talk about Alexa, because Alexa's coming back, and the
Bliss is back.
Stupidly, they plugged it instead of letting her be a surprise return. But at least we know that. Well, they said her journey back begins next week, so maybe it culminates at the Royal Rumble. What do y'all think about Alexa coming back?
Hopefully,
I'm excited. I'm excited to have her back.
What Bliss do we get? Twisted Bliss? Do we get Bitchy Bliss? Do we get Bliss Wyatt?
Bliss Wyatt. Oh my god. I hope the goddess, it would be cool to see her as a face, but still have attitude. She doesn't need to lose all her grit just because she's a baby face, like she did when she was tag team champions with Nikki. Because I really like her. Obviously, she's like an expert on the mic. She can cut a promo like nobody's business. And she just has a delivery that makes it believable. You're watching professional wrestling. You're not really watching because you know that these are, Emmy Award winning actors. But Alexa does give you a sense of she believes everything she's saying. And then it makes me root for her as a heel usually. But I'd like to see her as a face with that same grit.
I would like to see her. I like how you think, but I think I want to see her as a heel because those promos are always so scathing, and she plays the mean girl role so well. Mm-hmm. I need heel Bliss back, and I kind of want the goddess. I've enjoyed all of the personas, but give me goddess Alexa back again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at her being a heel.
Her and Liv. I want a program with her and Liv where Alexa comes back and is like, Liv, you ain't that girl, and I'm back to take my spot. You ain't the little bitty boy. It's me. That's my role. I would love to have a program between them. let's talk about this segment last night. We didn't really have much on Raw in terms of action. We had a 24/7 mixed tag match. Dana Brooke and Reggie beating Akira Tozawa and Tamina. I was about to say Takira.
Not
That's
Tina.
their team name, Akira and Tamina, Takira. So we see this program kind of extending out. I like that Tamina is consistently on TV doing something. I like that Dana has a title because I don't see her getting any other titles. I would love for her to, but I feel like this is it. So I want her to soak it up and get her 24/7 in the spotlight. Definitely. I love the fact that she seems like she's having fun though. Yeah, Dana looks really happy. Any thoughts on that mixed tag or what's going on with Dana Brooke and Tamina?
I need Reggie to stay out of women's business. I don't know. I'm just really tired. He's becoming like the brand new James, and I'm just really, I'm not here for it. I mean, did Dana defend her title or did he defend the title? Because I don't know if they're tagging in last night.
Yeah, you know what? It's really weird, their team. And I feel like one day he's gonna turn on her and like roll her up and take the title back, and that's just gonna be it. And they're gonna have all this build up of them being friends, and then they're never gonna interact on camera again. That's just what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see that. So, or
why is no one trying to get the title from her when she's like not assuming?
Yeah, like they do with everybody else. Like Reggie had to run for his life. R-Truth could not go to sleep, and Dana is just like, my match is over. I'm going to the back. Like,
just wait here on the apron for 3 minutes.
Yeah. Come get her then. Like, Tamina is the only person chasing you, girl. Like, you're lucky. Because I remember when they tried to put the title on Carmella, they had all the women chasing her, around, and we don't get that with Dana. So we'll see what creative spots they can come up with, if any, unless we just get another mixed tag next week.
Shout out though, if I can backpedal, shout out to did you hear Liv's new theme music?
I love it.
Oh, it got remixed.
Yeah. I like how they're changing some people's stuff. Like Miz, I think his changed a little bit. They're trying to do a few things here and there. I don't think we'll ever have any themes as iconic as what we got from the CFOs.
Right.
I miss those themes so much.
Same here.
So sad.
Me too.
So otherwise on Raw, we had a segment that I guess gives us a little bit of a prediction in terms of where we're going next with the title picture. He got the shirt on, repping her. So we had Becky and Liv start out the segment going back and forth again, about Liv saying, I can beat you. I just need another chance. Same old, same old. I feel like we saw that promo last week and the week before. So Bianca Belair comes out, and I feel like her interaction was so authentic. It seemed like so organic and real for her to just say, like, look, I stepped aside for a minute, but now I'm ready. Like, we tired of y'all. I'm back in the spotlight. What did y'all think of the segment?
Oh, yes. I loved it. I agree with every word you just said right now. And she's the one that can pull off having a little bit of grit and being a baby face, and because she's funny. I mean, so many things she says whenever she's like being shady or sassy, it's always funny, like, and we're always thinking it, so I enjoy that. Obviously I'm biased for Bianca, so everything she does is great for me.
I love that line she had where she was like, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. And this is like, well, let me take that back, because we both know I could throw you very far.
Yes, that was iconic.
Cam, who are you rooting for last night? Who are you rooting? I'm sorry, today. My days all running together. Who are you rooting for on Raw?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm always going to be a Bianca fan no matter what. But I do like the fact that Doudrop isn't coming up in the picture. I think that like she's played background for a little bit. It's nice. I just wish they changed that name already. I'm so tired of saying Doudrop. Can we just call her Piper again?
Yeah, I won't call her
I want her to come out, and I want her to like go to who's Mike Rome. I want her to go to the announcer, and as he says her name, hit her name, I want her to just like grab him by his collar and be like, my name is Piper Niven. And my accent is horrible. So, I would love to
for that British accent.
She, like, in terms of being a talker, she is very, very good. I loved her in that segment with Sonya and Adam, and she commanded that scene. Like, she didn't fall into the background. She didn't kind of let them dominate. I loved how authoritative she came across and how confident she was. And I think that she's been a great speaker. I'm so glad to see her out of Eva Marie's shadow. Shout out to Eva Marie. I miss you, girl.
That makes one of us.
You don't miss All Red Everything or whatever her all ombre everything this last
There
time.
was nothing to miss. There was nothing to miss. There was such a pointless, like 2-month run. And they could have done something with it. They could have, made her that protected heel, like a Stephanie McMahon type, and they didn't. So
they should have. I would love a stable with like her, Scarlett, and some of the other women who, have been kind of looked at as TNA, or so to say. I think that would have been cool to see them like take over the division and say, no, we got the looks and now we got the titles too. Almost like Toxic Attraction, but more. Toxic Attraction stands for TNA.
Ooh, didn't even realize that.
TA. I just thought about that. Okay. I digress. Let's go back to it. We got the triple threat next week. Doudrop, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan. Who y'all going for?
Bianca always.
I think so too. I really want to see Bianca win. I don't see Becky and Doudrop having a match just yet. I feel like she got to become Piper before she gets a title match.
Yeah, so she can have a name that we can actually use and not like cringe at. That's a word. It's not a name. That's so weird. Like, why are they trying to make it happen? Like, stop trying to make it happen.
And then they had that segment where when they first introduced her, they were like, what's your name? And Eva Marie was like, Doudrop. I'm like, okay, Eva's gone. So you would think that she would have been corrected people and been like, no, that was never my name.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's because, and I only think about this because I read an interview where Mercedes was saying that the WWE wanted her name, so that way, like, if she ended up leaving the company, they would still own it. So I'm wondering if Piper just didn't agree to letting them take over her name because she had it on the Indies and for so long. Still, I'm sick of Doudrop as a name.
But they filed for a trademark. I think I saw this maybe a month or two ago. So from the time that she's been Doudrop, like after that, they filed for another trademark for Piper Niven. And so, because remember, before she joined WWE or NXT UK, she wrestled as Viper on the independent circuit. So Piper Niven was a WWE name. Like that's the name they gave her when she signed. So I would love to see them go back to it. I mean, y'all the ones that came up with it. So clearly y'all liked it in the first place. So go back to it. Because Doudrop.
That's not her real name.
Like Piper Niven? Name? I don't know. Let's look it up. I'm about to look into it.
I mean, they can make up any other name. Actually, what's funny is I got confused online. They were talking about the article that you just referenced about trademarking new names and different options. I saw the name Ivy Nile on it. Didn't know that was a separate human. So I thought, oh my God, that would be like a really cute name to go with for Piper. And turns out taken, there's already a girl named Ivy Nile. Never heard of her.
Yeah, Ivy is in NXT squashing people on a semi-regular basis. She's part of Diamond Mine. So she's like a swole, like she's like cut up. She looks like she will kill all of us.
I fast forwarded through her because I've never seen her, and it was obvious. I mean, when they have like a local competitor, come on,
standing in the ring.
Yeah.
So Piper Niven's real name is Kimberly, or look, we manifesting it. Piper Niven. Her real name is Kimberly Benson. Not necessarily a good wrestling name.
Cute.
Kimberly Benson. No, that's not it. I will take that over Doudrop though.
Anything over Doudrop.
So I think we can all agree we're rooting for Miss Bianca next week. We got Alexa Bliss coming back. And we'll see what happens with Dana Brooke and Tamina. So moving on, let's talk about what else is on the horizon. Oh no, I can't forget NXT. Let's finish up talking about what we've seen so far this week with NXT. We had a triple threat with Mandy Rose, Cora Jade, the skateboarding extraordinaire, and the powerhouse herself, Miss Raquel Gonzalez. Who were y'all rooting for going into this? I was rooting for Io Shirai.
I don't think, to be honest with you, I like everyone in this match. I definitely think I didn't have high hopes that Mandy would. I thought Mandy was going to walk out the title no matter what. So I really wasn't rooting for anybody in particular. I guess it would have been Cora Jade. I want to say this. I was pleasantly surprised at Mandy's wrestling in this match, and I'm also pleasantly surprised that she didn't need the rest of Toxic Attraction to even win the match.
Yeah, that was surprising.
A lot of people have been
waiting.
giving Mandy flack for her performance as champion and saying that she's just not cutting it in terms of the caliber of women that we've had in the past. I do see a difference in the women's matches now versus the heyday. But I think that was a change that we were already starting to see from the days of Sasha, and from the days of the Four Horsewomen, Asuka, Ember. I think that there's definitely been a shift. Like with Shayna and Rhea, the matches were engaging, but in a different way. And so I think that's just been an evolution. I think Cora Jade has the potential to be really exciting. I'm not necessarily a big fan yet. I think that she's going to grow. As they always tell us, she's only 20 years old, so she has so much room to grow. But she may be 21 now. I think she just turned 21 recently. But we'll see where she ends up. I think she's got potential. I think Raquel's done everything she can do in NXT. So it's time for her to move on. I want to see Mandy grow in the role. I think the match quality will improve. I think that she needs an opponent who's going to push her. Her versus Io, I think, will be a great match. I think her versus Dakota as a face will be a really good match. I think that Dakota could really push her. I would love to see Kaden Carter step up and get a singles match here or there because she's really, really good. She's really explosive in the ring. So any of those, I think, would be good. What do you guys see going forward for Mandy's title reign?
I mean, I pretty much have been waiting for her to enter a program with Io. I feel like that's kind of been the landing point that we're waiting to get to. I could be wrong, but I just see that being a perfect pairing because Io is so experienced. She can carry talent. I'm not a Mandy hater. I think she's doing a great job because they're trying to give us almost like a watered down vibe of NXT, right? That's why they're making it like a little bit more character driven. So I think for the gimmick, she's doing great as champion. If we want to see her really improve in the ring with her skills, I think Io is the person to do it, to give her a really good match and make her look strong if they plan on keeping the title with Mandy. Because Io is another one, I think, send her to Raw. Like, we really need her to be in the title picture. She's someone who could be one of the pillars of the division. I see her on Raw. I mean, I'll take her on SmackDown, but I see her mostly being on Raw.
Is I think that I just always have envisioned her there, but I think that Raw may need her. Well, I don't know, because you look at the title picture now, and when Bianca came out, I was like, okay, shoot. So you got Bianca, you got Liv, you got Doudrop that's interested. Is there anybody on Raw that's not being used?
Can't even keep track of who's even still around anymore.
Lena's in something, Rhea's in something, Nikki's in something. Who else is there?
Asuka's on an injury, right?
Asuka's injured.
Right.
I think Bailey's coming back soon. Alexa's gonna be back on Raw, so she can step into the title picture. I think on SmackDown, we've got Naomi, who knows what's gonna happen next with this storyline for Sonya. Aaliyah, who's missing. Xia Li. Yeah, Xia Li. I don't know that she's ready for a title match, but I could see them definitely putting her in a match with Charlotte soon. Their size difference, I think, will be really interesting to see. I would love Io on either one. I would love her to come out and beat Charlotte her first night out, like Paige style, and win the title. I think that'd be great. That'd be an awesome storyline to have. Charlotte having a chip on her shoulder and letting Io be the one that she just can't beat. Because remember when Io won the NXT title, she won it in that triple threat with Rhea and Charlotte. She took the title from Charlotte in that match. So we'll see.
I'd be here for that.
I'm all the way for it.
I'm here for it. I honestly think that now that Tony's gone, they're probably going to end up having to call somebody else up, considering, Aaliyah, and as much as we love Shotzi, and I do love Shotzi, her wrestling has been a little bit sloppy on the main roster, sloppier like we all know she goes balls to the wall, but like for some reason she's not really clicking with anybody I've seen her wrestle. Her and Charlotte were probably the closest. Her and Sasha was I don't know what that was. That was Sasha trying to carry her, and I didn't think that Shotzi needed to be carried, but she just couldn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good for me. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think Shotzi is just going through so much. She was just like, y'all took me from Ember. You took Tegan from me. You took my tank. You turned me heel. What you gonna make me do next? Dye my hair blonde or black or red or brown to make? I could see them being like, yeah, this green is too much. We're gonna dye your hair brunette. You need to fit in more. I could see them doing stuff to water her down because it seems like that's what they're doing. But we'll see. I think Shotzi as a face going back in a program with Charlotte would be good. They're literally like, they look like the antithesis of each other. And so I think it'd be cool to see them in a program with each other. And Shotzi did great with her. Like you said, that was the crowd was behind her. They were all into it. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on, let's talk. Also, NXT next week, we do have a 6-woman tag. So we got Amari Miller stepping into the spotlight on NXT. She's been on 205 Live holding it down as the gatekeeper for all the new women. So we've got her, and she's teaming with Kaden and Casey. They're going against Indy. What's Indy's last name? Indy Hartwell, Persia Parada, and their partner making her debut, Wendy Chu. So we got Karen Q as her new character, Wendy Chu. Mei Ying is no longer. So we'll see what she does next week. I'm excited to see it.
I'm glad
no Tiffany Stratton.
No Tiffany Stratton. According to her, Daddy, these girls are so ill. I saw that little segment and I was like, yes, Tiffany. I love her. I love her song too. Her entrance, Daddy's Little Rich Girl.
Her gimmick really does it for me. I don't know what it is. And that thing she does with
I love the
I dig it.
But yeah, she is that girl. She's gonna be that girl. So moving on, let's talk about what we hope to see for the rest of the week. Like I said, tonight we do have. By the time you guys watch this, Dynamite may have aired, but tonight we do have that TBS title match. I'm sure that Dynamite has some other tricks up his sleeve. I'm sure Britt Baker will have some type of great segment on the way to Battle of the Belts where she's going to defend her AEW Women's Championship against Rio. So hopefully we get some great stuff tonight. I know there's going to be some follow-up with Mercedes Martinez. And then over on Impact, we are moving and trucking along to Hard to Kill, which comes to us from Texas this Saturday. And at that pay-per-view, WWE has shifted to premium live events, but Impact is still giving us good old pay-per-views. So at Hard to Kill, we've got three women's matches. First up, we have the tag team titles being defended. So the Inspiration, which is Cassie Lee, Jessie McKay, formerly known as Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Iconics. Now it's Inspiration. So they are defending their tag team titles against the Influence, which is my girl, my favorite knockout of all time, Madison Rayne, and her partner, Tenille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma. Their feud, like, they've had some really, really good sticks. So I love how it's kind of parallel between them, how the Inspiration now has Jay with an I, and the Influence has Caleb with the K. So I love to see how this match turns out. I've not seen anything that's driven me crazy in terms of, oh my God, that was so amazing from Cassie or Jessie yet in Impact, but I know it's coming because I know how talented they are. Then other than that, we have the women's title being defended, Texas death match. So a death match in Texas. Mickie James defending her title against the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. And then the match I'm most excited about, the first ever women's Ultimate X match. And I'm going to try to get them off. I think that we got Chelsea Green, we have Rachel Ellering, we have Lady Frost, who I think is going to show all the way out in this match. We got Jordan Grace. Who else is in this match? Let me look and see. Rosemary. And we have, who's that last one?
Alicia Edwards.
I wish. That's who I really want to be in this match, but she's not. I feel like if they were to take Rachel Ellering out and put Alicia, the match would go crazy. So yeah, we got Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, Lady Frost, Rachel Ellering, Rosemary, and my pick to win it, Tasha Steeles. I love Tasha so much, and I think that it's time for her to get a title reign. She's done a great job in Impact. I was worried about her with Kiera Hogan leaving and Fire and Flavor breaking up, but she's done, I think, a great job. Who y'all got in these matches?
I'm definitely gonna have to agree with you with Tasha still for that. Is that the guy called everything? I know it's probably the wrong one.
You said for which one?
For the X match, yeah.
Tasha Steeles? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Tasha Steeles.
Or the one that's title match.
I'm gonna have to go with Mickey. I'm not ready for that title reign to end. I love Deonna. I know she's gonna do big things, but give it to Mickey. I want Mickey to keep on going for a little bit.
Yeah, Deonna had a really long title reign too, so I think Mickey can keep it for a while. Des, your predictions so far?
So I know. So far, I'm trying to catch up with Impact. I just recently got access to watching that. So right now, the only wrestlers I actually know in that, what did you call it? The X match or something?
Ultimate X.
Ultimate X. I only know Chelsea Green, and I've seen Jordan Grace. Not particularly that excited about her, so I'm gonna go with Chelsea Green. With Rick Lusa, Chelsea Green.
Hey, Lucha Underground fans. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go with, like I said, Tasha Steeles for Ultimate X. I definitely see Mickey retaining because it's not time for her to lose yet.
Yeah.
For the tag titles, I'm going to go with Cassie and Jesse because, I mean, their reign is still pretty young too. Yeah. I could see Madison and Tenille beating them eventually, but I don't think it's time yet. I could see them extending out for another month. And
hopefully it's a slow burn. I think for both Mickey and for the Inspiration, I'd like to see them continue on for at least 2 or 3 more months.
Yeah, definitely. And what we want y'all to do is to continue to support us. So if you would please hit that button below, subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you like this, share this content with your friends and even people you don't like because they deserve it too. We are on with the win. Thank y'all for joining us and we will see you soon. Bye, y'all. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye, guys.